Hi everyone, welcome back to SEVA TV. I'm your host Jonah. Today, we're going to be taking a closer look at different cultures and why they matter to people. So let's go and find out what cultures people connect with and what it means to them.
SEVA TV starts now.
First up, we have a very special video made by Anisha from Del Paso Manor Elementary. In her video, Stories Told Through Dance, she teaches us about her oldest and most popular dance styles. Let's take a look.
Dance comes in many different forms in different cultures. Bharatanatyam is a South Indian dance style that is unique because it tells stories of India's gods and goddesses through coordinated hand, leg, and facial movements. Dancers dedicate their time and energy, taking years to master this art. The result is a beautiful dance. Written in the ancient Sanskrit language, Bharatanatyam is the oldest classical dance tradition of India, with sculptural evidence dating back nearly 3,000 years.
Bharatanatyam is said to be one of the most ancient of India's classical dances. It's based on many elements that are in the Natya Shastra, which is an ancient text about theater and music.
Indians believe that the gods came together to create this holy dance. This was the dance of creation. Ever since then, people have been dancing Bharatanatyam. With the arrival of the East India Company in the 18th century and the British colonial rule in the 19th century, many classical Indian dance forms were ridiculed and discouraged, and these performing arts decreased. The British colonial government banned the custom of dancing in Hindu temples in 1910, and with this, the age-old tradition of performing Bharatanatyam in Hindu temples also came to an end. Rukmani Devi Arundel, a Bharatanatyam dancer and choreographer, was an important revivalist.
She was from a high-class family, which normally would never even watch performances of it. And she said, well, I want to see what this is like. Everybody's talking about it. Let's go see what it looks like. So she went with some friends and looked at it. And she said, this just looks really beautiful, and there's a lot of potential in this, and I want to learn it. Then she started a school. She started teaching a couple of people, children of her friends, and they learned and they performed. And then slowly she made a school and had more and more people there, and later on I was one of them.
With her help, this dance form rapidly expanded after India gained freedom from British rule in 1947. It is now the most popular classical Indian dance style in India. Catherine Guniraman is a student of Rukmani Devi, and she has dedicated herself to the arts. She trains younger Bharatanatyam dancers and loves watching them find their own unique style and discover a love for dance.
I like dance because for me it's a form of expression. I know our teacher always says that dance is a form of theater, specifically Bharatanatyam, and it's a way for me to express my emotions through the characters that we portray in each song.
I like dance because it is an art form that brings me joy. Every time I dance, I forget everything else around me, and I really immerse myself in that.
I would love to see people take interest in all kinds of art and go to museums and listen to classical music of all kinds and look at paintings and try to understand them. And I would love for everybody to understand that and to enjoy it more, because art has given me the greatest pleasure. I don't need anything else.
Thank you so much, Anisha, for sharing that beautiful dance with us. What a special tradition from your culture. Now, I hope you're not hungry, because our next video might just make your stomach growl. Caden from Catherine L. Albiani Middle School will show us how to make pork dumplings. These tasty treats started in China during the Han Dynasty and were actually first made to help with frostbite. How cool is that? Let's watch as Caden shares his delicious recipe.
Hi, today we will be making pork dumplings. To make pork dumplings, you will need these ingredients: ground pork, soy sauce, white pepper, sesame oil, an egg, cabbage, salt, dumpling wrappers, a knife, a pot, ginger, garlic, a plate, and water. Step 1. Wash your hands. Step 2. You will start by chopping the cabbages into small pieces with your knife and then add salt and toss, then set aside. Step 3. Peel and mince your garlic and ginger separately. Step 4. Combine ground pork, garlic, ginger, egg white pepper, soy sauce, and sesame oil. Squeeze the liquid from the cabbage before adding into the filling. Step 5. You will need to grab around 1.5 inches of the filling and place it in the center of one of the dumpling wrappers. Step 6. Moisten the edges of the dumpling with a bit of water and pinch the sides of the dumplings together. Step 7. Get a pot of boiling water and put in your dumplings for around 3 to 4 minutes. When the dumplings are done cooking, take them out and transfer them to a plate to dry. After maybe around a minute, you can now eat your own pork dumplings. The end result should look something like this.
Wow, that is a recipe I would definitely have to try. Thank you so much, Caden. It's time to take a little break, however, from the videos and test your knowledge with another Take 5 Trivia with Isla Torres Harrington.
Welcome to Take 5 Trivia, where your knowledge of film and media gets a moment in the spotlight. I'm your host, Isla. Today's trivia question topic is editing terminology. Your question is, what is a jump cut? Is it A, when the speed of a video is adjusted to play faster, B, a jarring, abrupt transition between two shots of the same subject, or C, a scene that is filmed in one continuous take with no edits? If you chose B, an abrupt, jarring cut between two shots of the same subject, you're right. This technique can be used to add energy, show a character's emotions, or suggest that time has passed. Thanks so much for playing Take 5 Trivia. I'll see you next time.
Before the next video, Cemented in Culture, let's hear from the director Jeffrey from Del Campo High School about what inspired him to create this work of art.
My name is Jeffrey. I go to Del Campo High School, and my video is called Cemented in Culture. So Cemented in Culture is supposed to be kind of giving information to the whole school about the new murals that were put on campus. They were painted by a company called Wide Open Walls, which is a nonprofit that takes money from different student districts or counties and just puts them in for public murals. And so they pay local artists and overseas artists to come in and show work to as many people as possible. And specifically about this school is that they allowed the students to actually come in and help with the mural and work on the background and everything. So students can come by and walk around every day and be like, wow, I helped with that. And so it kind of leaves a lasting impression on the campus that students can look back on. When this came out that like new murals were getting done, it was a really big thing. We saw a bunch of students on there making rollers. We heard some very energetic British man that was there painting. And so they're like, wow, I think it would be really interesting to not only show the whole school, everyone else that like doesn't come over here, show the whole school what's going on with the murals, as well as show the entire district what Wide Open Walls is doing. Because even in the Sacramento County area, like on Sunrise and whatnot, you can see these Wide Open Walls murals that not a lot of people know about. And so I think showing that is important. This process was a little difficult, mainly because there was only 2 interviews out of the 5 that were on campus. And so we had to grab 3 interviews of people currently painting, or we had to pull them in from whatever place they were. But it was really just getting used to using gimbals and getting used to making shots as smooth as possible, as well as being able to talk confidently to adults, because adults usually give you a lot better answers as long as you give them better questions. And so being able to change from interviewing people your age and interviewing adults is something you have to get used to. The big takeaway is that art is a staple foundation of human culture. And so when people see public art, it kind of pulls them away from the troubles that they have and kind of the things that they're worrying about in the given moment. And so being able to experience something just by looking at it, much like a video, it's very, very surreal, I guess. I feel like people should take muralism as more than just a grand expression, and take it more as a necessity in society. Advice that I would give to someone starting off in video is you don't always have to be a perfectionist. A lot of people take in consideration that a mistake in a caption or a mistake in a name is going to blow the whole thing out of the water, but that's not the case. Of course, it's important to be able to get people's name right and respect that, but it's really just the effort that you put in instead of the nitty-gritty. Every type of profession that people go in, they're going to have to produce something at some point. And since video is such a big part of society in today's day and age, being able to know those basics and make videos is a very valuable life skill, and it's needed to basically thrive in any profession you're in.
Ever since I've been at Del Campo, I have wanted to redo the murals on campus because they've been faded and graffitied over, and they were in need of a refresh. And so I got in touch with David at Wide Open Walls, and he has connections with tons of artists.
Well, Wide Open Walls is a nonprofit that's focused on basically creating murals for the public. As a nonprofit, we raise money, and that comes from, it could be from districts, it could be from different P-bids, from private individuals, from school districts. The money comes from everywhere, and as a nonprofit, we do our best to hire both local and international artists to come in and do their very, very best work.
Art's like breathing. If I don't do it, I'm gonna die. It's something that is completely ingrained in everything I see and everything I do. What it is for other people, I don't know. I just have to do it. All I know is I've got to do it. And what's fascinating is you then see people that start looking at it And then they start asking questions. And art for me is about encouraging people to ask questions, to question their everyday life.
As artists, I hear a lot of takes on, feeling like we're a voice. And so, and you see some artists that take more of a political approach. You see artists that take approaches where they're a voice for, communities that they tend to pick. Social media and everything else, we're constantly being fed all day just kind of the troubles of the world. And I want my work to be something where people can kind of escape that.
Art for me, I definitely find it not just like passion, but a way to express myself. Other people can use it as a way to express themselves too, even if it's not their main passion.
I think it's nice for them to work outside of the classroom, not just in the room on paper, something they'll take with them. This is something that will hopefully be up on the wall for a long time. It will be a collaborative effort, a collaborative artistic endeavor that they have participated in. So I think that's a cool experience for them.
Splatter, enlarged it, and then cut it out.
So one of the things I'm most proud of is being able to give opportunities to people that have never painted a mural before.
They are a pretty quiet bunch. This group is pretty quiet and not really vocal. So I'm personally very excited that they have this opportunity. And I had a few who were a little tentative to participate at the beginning. And then after we just even rolled the wall the other day, they said that was so fun. We had such a good time. And I said, just wait, we're gonna do spray paint next. So I think after actually participating and seeing what it involved, they did get pretty excited.
For this background that I'm working on today, I'm going to be working on with some of the pupils, some of the students. We're going to use these stencils. Never used spray paint before, which I'm guessing some of the students here wouldn't have done. It's a nice introduction to them.
It feels definitely cool because I was not expecting that. So it would be very cool to like every day be like, wow, I was a part of that, and all my friends were too.
I've gotten used to having somewhat of an audience, but then it brought me back to when I was this age, how cool it had been to see someone that, is painting something at my school, because we didn't have things like that. So I'm hoping that whether they said anything or not, I'm really hoping that some of the students here definitely felt inspired by seeing the work that I was putting on the wall.
Not everybody has an opportunity or the resources to go to a museum, go to galleries. Some of that's out of people's price range or their comfort level. So the murals are accessible and the art is accessible to everybody. It doesn't matter whether you're walking down the street, you're going to school, you're going to the library, going shopping.
Muralism is, to me, it's literally it's work, it's labor. You're bringing ladders out and everything. Sometimes scaffolding to lift.
Well, obviously it's a much larger scale. I think it takes your whole body to work on something like this.
If I've got paint left over and I can't fly home with it, then I'm going to try and find as many walls as I can and just keep painting until the paint runs out.
I think the future of something like this is decades and decades and decades. And the more opportunities that we give young artists and artists that haven't painted murals before, I drive down the street, I walk down the street, I see blank canvases and lots of opportunities. So I think the future is pretty bright.
That was amazing artwork. What an incredible story. Thank you, Jeffrey, for sharing that with us. Now, it's time for another tasty recipe with Olivia from Catherine L. Albiani Middle School. Olivia will be teaching us how to make one of her favorite foods, fried rice. Let's get cooking.
How to make fried rice. You can use any ingredients of your choice, but you'll need those ingredients to include one choice of protein, vegetation, and seasoning. The only ingredient that is required will be rice and eggs. You will need any kind of cutting knife, a bowl that satisfies your appetite, a small plate and bowl to place your ingredients in, a cutting board that supports the size of your ingredients, a medium to small pan, a spoon, and a spatula. You will need to wash your hands with soap and water, just to make sure that the food is clean. For ingredients like carrots and onions, you may need to peel and cut them. If your ingredients are pre-cut, like this chashu, then you can go ahead and place it in a small bowl. Turn on the stove to high heat. Wait a few seconds and then add your choice of cooking oil. Then turn your pan in a circular motion to spread the oil, assuring that the food will not burn. Pour in your rice. You might need to use a spatula to scoop it out. When the rice is in the pan, you will need to squish and fold it to spread it around. Crack the eggs over the pan and make sure there are no eggshells that have fallen into the egg yolk or egg whites. Also add your other choices of protein if you have them. Scoop in your variety of vegetables, then fold them into the rice. For a decent amount of seasoning, pour in a pinch of every seasoning, or you can taste it to your liking. Keep folding the fried rice until you get the consistency you want, such as a crispier or fluffier fried rice. Once the fried rice is to the consistency you like, get your spatula and bowl. Use the spatula to pour the fried rice into the bowl. If you want, you can garnish your fried rice with ingredients such as onions or fried onion.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that, Olivia. That looks so good. What a great recipe. For our last video clip today, our very own Isla from Del Paso Manor Elementary will teach us about the importance of fair representation in books. In her video, Representation in Libraries Matter.
At the school library. Hi, can you help me find a book about people who look like me? Sure. I can't find anything. Me neither. 10 minutes later. I think I found one. Finally. Thank you. You're welcome. Whew, that was hard. Harder than it should have been. It took us 10 minutes to find a book with a person of color. This happened in a school that does not ban books, so imagine how hard it would be in states that practice book banning policies in their local and school and public libraries.
We're fortunate in California that we're not facing the kind of atmosphere for that some other states are facing, but we do face it here. There are libraries and library boards and school boards that are attempting to censor library collections in California. If you care about representation in a library bookshelf, right, and finding a book that you see yourself in or you see your experience in, if you care about that at all, you need to pay attention to what's going on with book banning and book censorship, because it's not ultimately about books.
Representation in library books matters. It is important for kids to see themselves within the pages of a book.
I am the Youth Materials Selection Specialist for Sacramento Public Library. So what that means is I select for purchase all print and digital materials, mostly English language, for ages 0 to 18.
I work for the California Department of Education, and this is a topic that greatly impacts our nearly 6 million students in grades kindergarten through 12. In California, we are incredibly fortunate to have leaders and champions such as Assembly Member Dr. Corey Jackson, who authored and passed Assembly Bill 1078, which effectively ends book banning in California schools. Dr. Corey Jackson's goal behind AB 1078 was to ensure that California students celebrated their diversity in literature and that they were able to see themselves in their school libraries. And this has had an incredible benefit for all students in California's schools.
It is also important to see other people and their experiences.
The library has an obligation to provide collections that are welcoming and relevant to historically marginalized or underserved portions of our community. I came into this job with a guiding principle that every kid in our service area, every kid in Sacramento County should be able to go to a library, find a book that has them or their experience in it. We want the library to be welcoming to everybody in our community. And so to be welcoming to a particular person, they should be able to find not only what they're looking for, but find it through the lens they're looking through, through their lived experience, through the things that matter to them. A second grader should come in and look at books aimed at second graders and see them.
This concept is called windows, mirrors, and sliding glass doors. This concept was introduced by Dr. Rudine Sims Bishop, an educator and researcher who believes in the importance of diversity in children's books and the authors who write them. She believes that children should see reflections of themselves, that's the mirror, and also learn about the lives of others, that's the windows and sliding glass doors, in the books they read. If a book is a mirror, kids can look at someone who they can relate to.
Every kid should have that experience coming into the library, and if it's important when I'm selecting because I'm trying to build, as part of what the library does, lifelong readers. Publishing in general tends to not have a proper amount of representation in it, especially children's books. If you come into the library as a kid knowing that you're going to see yourself on the shelf or see your experience on the shelf or see the thing that you're looking for on the shelf, there's been lots of research and lots of real-world examples of kids thriving in environments where they see themselves.
If a book is a window, kids are learning about the lives of others. It is important that libraries offer representation that reflect windows, mirrors, and sliding glass doors for children to enjoy and be exposed to.
And if you're concerned about barriers to those books being on your shelf, it's important to keep speaking up. Speak up to the teacher, speak up to the librarian, speak up to the board, speak up to the principal, speak up to whoever it is you need to speak up to, because ultimately we need to hear from the kids themselves. They didn't see until you told them that there's no book, that there's nobody that looks like me on the shelf. Do you have one? It's uncomfortable for someone like me to hear that, but it's important that I hear that. The most important voice that I need to hear is an actual kid coming to me and saying, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for where are the books that look like me.
Book banning is harmful when the books are restricted for kids to read. The concept of windows, mirrors, and sliding glass doors provides children with empathy for someone different than themselves. Book banning can shatter mirrors for groups that are not mentioned and can deny windows for others.
Man, what a powerful story with a very important message about our libraries. Thanks so much for sharing all those books with us, Isla. That brings us to the end of today's show. But if you have enjoyed these educational videos, be sure to check us out at our website at secctv.org. Again, that is secctv.org. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I'm your host, Jonah. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time here at SEVA TV.
The Student Educational Video Awards, or SEVAs, is a program organized by the Sacramento Educational Cable Consortium. The contest is open to all Sacramento County students, grades K through 20. Throughout the year, students produce media work that highlights important events, stories, and educational messages from their lives. For more information on how you can enter the SEVAs, check out our website at secctv.org/SEVA. Share your vision with the SEVAs.